Welcome back, everybody, to our fourth of 5 games on the day for Starladder Season 10 in the European Division. For this one, we're going to take a look at Goblak's team. They are your defending Game Show League Season 1 champions. They won the first event at DreamHack Moscow, and they looked pretty damn good doing it. Had to knock down Na'Vi, Empire, Virtus Pro, basically all of the top CIS teams, and of course M5 along the way to do it. So let's see if they can do it again. They'll be facing kind of an embattled Empire so far in Starladder, who did lose their last game earlier today against Compass Gaming. Definitely a team that you look at on the schedule as Empire and say, all right, that's a win. You know, this is a game we're supposed to win. We need to win it to move to the LAN finals. Didn't happen. And with that, well, the draft's pretty far along. So for that, I welcome in Blaze, of course. Blaze, what are you seeing here so far in the draft?
Well, of course, it's Godblack drafting here, so Team Empire has a lot of respect for what they could accomplish with the heroes they banned out in the first phase here. Interestingly enough, the Visage, which can be paired up with the Drow that Godblack so frequently likes to run. They're not really afraid of the Drow itself, just what can be run alongside it, what can be played extremely effectively by Lil in particular. But the Brewmaster is a pick that they use on the mid lane and the off lane. The Scandal in DK Phobos Brewmaster are very frequent, but by banning that outright, NVMI are just happy to pick up the Razor plus Death Prophet, now adding in the Faceless Void on top. So they can go from here a lot of different ways. We see DK Phobos pick up Puck quite frequently, but it's really hard to find an opening here when they've already got these 3 core heroes. So we're probably just going to see maybe an off-lane Void, safe lane Razor, and Death Prophet mid. Depends on how they feel the lanes will work for them. But it's pretty interesting to see the IO picked up from Team Empire, because they obviously want a lot of mobility here, the Stampede plus the Relocate, and they're going to try to just enable the Gyrocopter as much as possible.
Yeah, this Gyro has a lot backing him up, as you mentioned, and, well, I love the Gyro pick versus Tree in general. Great to just instantly remove Living Armor with Rocket Barrage, and offers you a ton of AoE presence in these team fights, which they're going to want against a Void, Death Prophet, and Razor. At the same time, though, I do worry for Empire if they don't find early success, because once NVMI gets a Death Ball status with Chrono, with a mech, with an Aghanim's, maybe on the Razor, or perhaps the Razor building the mech and the Death Prophet into like a Yule's something after that, whatever it is, Bloodstone, just a Rod of Atos, whatever it might be. Then it's very hard to stop that Death Ball, even with their AoE damage. So that's where I look to Empire to hopefully have an explosive start and just never let NVMI get to group up status.
I like the Rocket Barrage versus the Train Protector's Living Armor as well. It's going to make it a lot easier to bring down heroes like Razor and Death Prophet. So they didn't really have multiple instances of damage outside of Mystic Flare prior to that, and I think that's actually going to be a huge contributor to bringing down certain targets. Still, the towers are going to stay up for quite a long time, and Empire really have to be focused on the hero kills more so than the tower kills, because in terms of trading potential, it's just not there. Especially, of course, when the Razor picks up his Aghanim Scepter. But even prior to that, the Exorcism offensive and the Living Armor defensive, you don't get the opportunity to really conveniently and efficiently trade those towers. They might try to follow this up with a support that can do damage there, but I mean, the only one I really see here would be the Jakiro, and I think the Skywrath is going to fill that role better as a support. So we'll see essentially a solo mid opening potentially. It really depends on where Empire want to go with this, but it's not going to be the Invoker.
Yeah, nothing that they could dual lane mid would really work that well against, like, say, a Razor. If a Razor goes mid and you're running, like, a Gyro Wisp, he's just going to kind of kite you, harass the Wisp down, and steal your damage range. And Gyro's not the great hero to follow that kind of a dive up. Not that durable early on, and has to be very close to dish out damage to a Razor, which means diving the tower quite far. So I think you're probably right that we're going to see something else for the mid lane, and the Gyro Wisp will head to the safe lane and just look to zone out this Void and get an explosive start. Alternatively, they could leave Gyro alone top or Centaur. The other option is that with Skywrath dual lane, I guess, which we've seen from time to time. It's something that Na'Vi have run with Denny on the Skywrath Mage, and I wonder if maybe we see that again here.
Yeah, he definitely is very mana reliant, so the bottle or even some casual clarities would go a long way for enhancing his regeneration, allowing him to just spam spells out more frequently. There are a lot of ways that can make this work, but I'm curious how they want to build up their last pick. Obviously, NVMI, they seem to think they want a solo core hero, but I could see them still running the Skywrath in that core, like you mentioned with Dendi, and in this case, it would probably be Resolution to pick it up. In either case, if they wanted another support, I would say Chen would be really huge, because it really gives them the durability they're lacking when they can get the Hand of God, and it's actually 2 times 2.5 when you consider the tether. So that can be really good for a single target burst heal, but they're up against so much AoE teamfight that I guess they need something more along the lines of control. So we'll see. For now, Empire, they have a minute and a half to decide, but this is a really tough draft to go up against here.
Yeah, and now an Enigma. This is mass team fight from NVMI. And also, I would say another great way to counter Wisp. Like, you relocate in, great, black hole's waiting for you. And then you're just dead. Same with Chronosphere. If you see where they're relocating, you just drop Chrono on top of them, they're just dead. So I'm not sure how many offensive, like, hero killing Chronos we're going to see after the early laning stage. And they might just be more for, like, split push and, creep cutting. Like, we might have to see kind of rat dote out of Empire if they don't have that really fast start.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a little bit of a lack of damage from NVMI if they don't get a lot of momentum, but what they lack in that, they make up so much for in control. The Centaur and Io, like I said, they're trying to enable Gyrocopter to stay active and stay mobile, but if you overgrowth the Stampedes and you Black Hole or Chrono the relocates, then you've got the perfect heroes to respond to this. So it's an amazingly astute draft from Godblack here, as we would expect, but Empire, I really wouldn't want to be in their shoes trying to find this last fifth pick, this last piece that will be able to deal with what NVMI have presented here.
Well, last pick for Empire. They're running out of time at this point, Blaze. They got to pick something soon. No reserve time on the clock for them anymore, and just 10 seconds to go. And there'll be a Dragonite. The Resolution Dragonite mid.
Okay.
So I think the best hero in the game versus Living Armor on buildings.
Sure.
There's other heroes that are good against it. Exorcism's good against it. Obviously, Edict is, Liquid Fire is, but Dragonite's tanky as well. So when he goes in to hit a tower, he's much less likely to be punished for that. So definitely in like that top 3 or 4. And I guess that's the main reason we'll see this pick. And with that, we get into the game.
Yeah, between the two, like Pugna versus Dragonite, I definitely prefer the pick that we got for Resolution here because he is going to be not only providing corrosive for the first 2 ranks of Fellow Dragon form, but he's also really tanky against Exorcism himself, the Dragon's Blood. So he's going to survive through fights pretty well, and it's going to be hard to end VMI. They're going to really rely on Illidan getting a lot of static link damage throughout the fights and make use of the Eye of the Storm as well.
And with that, we'll introduce our teams, guys. Our second to last match of the day. Thank you for those who have stuck with us. We started this broadcast, I think about 11 hours ago, 10 hours ago at this point, and we've got 2 more BO1, so it's going to be well past the 12, 13 hours of straight casting. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. Hope we get good games the rest of the way. Off the bat, Empire move in. They're going to get off a Dragon Tail here to start things, and it's onto the Void. But now they're chasing for Scandal, a little bit uncoordinated with their focus fire. It's an absolute bloodbath at level 1, and Resolution will be the first man down as Empire quickly try to retreat out. Leech Seed too good.
Yeah, Leech Seed is incredible in a level 1 clash with so many heroes in range to get the heal. Rocket Barrage isn't bad either, but they committed so much to the gap closing abilities. The Concussive Shot, the Tether, and the Dragon Tail, they're all good, but none of them do damage. So in that case, the heal was enough to keep them all up and turn it around against them with Dragonite taking the early spill. And that's actually going to... no, it doesn't do too much as far as setting back his bottle because of the fact that he's only level 1, and so he only loses 30 gold.
Well, with that, let's actually introduce our teams now that the bloodbath is over. We have Godblack playing his iconic Treant Protector. Illidan Stormrage will be handling the safe lane Razor. In the jungle goes Lil as the Enigma. And towards the mid lane will be Scandal playing your Death Prophet. And then in the off lane, DK Phobos, an old school vet from the CIS region who has been really impressive. His Centaur most notably, and he's had some good Void games as well if you watch the game Shirley games. If not, there's some great action in there. But yeah, you'll see what he can do in this game. On the side of Empire, Mag is the safe lane Centaur. Resolution will be your Dragonite mid. Over towards the tri-lane. Solo playing the Wisp. Silent on the Gyrocopter. And that does leave Always Want to Fly as the support Skywrath mage. So we won't see the dual lane mid quite from Navi, but still combining the Skywrath and Wisp and looking for that heavy burst damage. Not right yet, though.
No, I mean, they still need level 2 on the Skywrath, and they're going to be splitting a lot of experience here, so we're going to see a very delayed relocate timing from Solo, and of course, they won't really be able to put huge harassment pressure into level 2. One more level, and the Flat Cannon comes out, the Arcane Bolt will do a lot, and I think they're going to have a lot of nice pressure, but for right now, it's going to be Lil just kind of casually farming up these western camps and kind of being blocked off from the east. It's very worth noting that he did skill and use Midnight Pulse in that level 1 clash. The Eidolons are not here until he hits level 2, and that just delays just about everyone in this game.
Is it worth just leeching experience from mid for like a wave or two just to get your level 2? Like, this is so slow. It's already 2 minutes in, and well, he finally cracks it now.
Yeah, if they hadn't gotten the kill on the Dragon Knight, then maybe, but he got it just barely enough that the Mud Golems were enough, and he'll be able to bounce back now, just about a minute and a half behind schedule. But yeah, I definitely think that would have been an alternative if he was too far away to clear it up there.
So looking at our other lanes, it's a Void versus Centaur. Nice lane for the Void here, and with the early Poor Man Shield. There's not many melee heroes that can take this matchup 1v1. Like, you've got some, like, Darkseer who can at least creep skip and kind of harass you out of lane, but in terms of trading blows, there's just very few that are better than Void in this situation. And with ridiculous base damage, 74 as an agility hero this early. Just absurd. He's having a great time. Centaur's still doing decently, though.
At least for now. We'll see the Poor Man Shield plus Orb of Venom, that harassment is really powerful, but as far as the other lanes go, we're going to be seeing Godblack kind of take a step back from things, and he's just going to try to play reactively here with the Living Armor. We actually see he's going to drop it on Null Talisman here for bottling and such. It's interesting, because obviously the Dragon Knight won't be able to cause him any grief at range until level 6, but still, in this case here, he is going to be controlling the wave with some nice spell spam, and making it so that Resolution has difficulty staying on the lane without some Bottle Crow action. But he actually, yeah, gets the boots and is still thinking about using the Courier for the Crow. I guess they have to decide if the rune's going to be at the right time for him. There it goes. Switches it over. It's now 3 minutes.
On to Illidan bottom lane. They're forcing the Razor back behind the tower and diving a bit deeper with the Tether Slow. And it looks like Illidan will end up going down here. Living Armor not enough to save him. It's only level 1. And not particularly effective at level 1.
Yeah, Solo would be extremely low right now if not for the fact that Silent picked up a Basilius before that dive. He has 0 base armor, so just jumping up to 14% mitigation, it does help a lot from those hefty tower shots. But yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of Sentry Wards go down, but there's no way they're going to be able to block up this camp, or open up this camp, with the fact that they have kind of covered it up with this magic bush.
Yeah, that's a bit of a waste from NVMI, and well, at least they don't really need their sentries for anything except for dewarding that camp. And also, fortunately for them, those sentries are about to expire. No observer wards in the camp, so good news, I suppose, for Empire. Still, it's yeah, for NVMI. Sorry, not Empire. It's been a long day. Hunting Godblack now is always on a fly, though. He's got an Invis rune here, and probably not the hero he wants to be going on. Ideally, you'd like to just keep Illidan down. They killed off the Living Armor. Now they dive him with Concussive Shot, but he begins to steal damage. Solo can't be the one to tank the tower shots. Even with the Bassi, he's still just going to be too squishy. Meanwhile, top lane, just harassment from DK Phobos, but he's really getting the best of Mag at this point. As you would expect in this matchup, it's completely lopsided.
Yeah. So, I mean, in this position, like, you have some potential to contest a lane, but it's getting more and more out of hand as the CS goes by. Do you think you should... Okay, actually, we see some damage. Silent's going to go down quick.
Silent is just completely in by himself. These supports are very squishy. Like, they can't be tanking the tower, and he expected them to come with him. Wasn't the case. Solo will make his way out. Concussive Shot will keep them safe as Illidan backs off. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, this tri-lane's getting to that point where you just can't win it anymore.
Do you think Mag should rotate with his level 6, or is it just going to be the Global Stampede to help him out?
They need to do something, right? Like, the only way they're getting kills is if they catch heroes away from tower. If they have to chase to the tower and Lil shows up with Eidolons, there's no way they win that fight.
Yeah,
they're
so,
just
I mean...
too squishy. Like, they just can't tower dive.
So in this position, the CS count for the mid lane is 36-4 over 32-4 for Resolution's Dragon Knight. So not a hefty loss, but still not exactly fully comfortable with this. There's a lot of Bottle Crow going back and forth, so there's really not much to talk about until they wean themselves off of that. But yeah, with that being kind of drawn even or a little bit of advantage to NVMI, it feels like NVMI are winning all their lanes. And the scary thing about that is that's with the greedy jungler. That's with the Enigma, who's still going to be moving in rapidly towards a black hole range. 3 points in the demonic conversion now, and he's looking to do something with it. He's buying up a Smoke and Deceit.
Scandal pursuing out Resolution will force him completely off the mid lane. Did manage to grab the rune, but well, that's not going to help him to sustain. They'll have to Bottle Crow here, and potentially could end up getting picked off. Yeah, I mean, my biggest concern right now for Empire is the fact that DK Phobos has Treads and Chronosphere and a TP scroll. So if they ever try to get aggressive, they just all die.
Yeah, I think maybe he'll be able to respond with the Stampede when he sees that DK Phobos is missing. But even then, like you're right. That if they actually commit to any kills, it's at the very least going to be a stalemate, and at worst they're going to be caught out. So we're going to see a little bit of movement here. Always want to fly in the enemy jungle. He really wants to screw with Lil a little bit, but yeah, he's full HP. Enigma level 5, able to do a lot, and I always want to fly, trying to help out Resolution, taking down the DP.
Yeah, it's a level 3 Scarith Mage, has 1 point each skill, but Resolution's busy just trying to push out the lane. Mag wraps around, or rather, DK Phobos wraps around on Mag top lane. If he gets a bash here, he would go for a Chrono, but the RNG not with him. He hasn't gone for a bash max, though. He's done the 2-2-2 build, so he gets a bit of value and everything. I'm always a believer getting at least 1 point in each skill in Void, but I think in this matchup, you really should be maxed out the bash and first. Like, you have solo kill potential here.
Oh, most definitely. And yeah, if he goes for Agi Treads, it just enables that a little bit more. But of course, Tranquil Boots will always allow Centaur to kind of reset the lane, just go back, heal up, and back to full. But we do see the concussive hitting on Godblock. Nice call down. That is a guaranteed call on the Train Protector, but looks like they're not going to get much more than that.
Yeah, don't want to dive any farther. That's a nice kill and the perfect time for Empire to back, because Phobos, see, he's got his eyes on that lane. The second that you come into like this region, that's where he TP's in, and you're just not going to all get out. Maybe 1 or 2 of you survive, but at least 1 will get caught, if not more.
Yeah, and then of course they have the Black Hole to back it up as well. Lil is just kind of camped out here right now. He's not farming, which is actually disadvantageous for him. Only at 26 jungle CS, so not moving that quickly towards a mechanism, which is pretty critical to their team. But all the same, we are going to be seeing him making sure that there aren't going to be heavy dives on the Razor, and that does guarantee some CS for him. Right now he's only 25-2 up against Gyro's 43-16. Do you kind of feel like that's how it should be, considering he is on the defensive?
Yeah, I don't think he should be farming that well, honestly. It's mainly just about getting your levels in this situation. Like, after the way the lane developed. Phobos trying to time walk out. There is a Dragon Tail available and a double damage on a Resolution. Do they have Relocate? No. Without Relocate, that's just not happening. So they're just going to go for a push here instead. And they should do significant damage to this tower. But the question is, do they kill it? Because if not, hey, living armor.
Exactly. So they committed this, though the Dragon Form has plenty of time left on it, but if they just TP one hero, they should be able to hold it. In fact, there's potential for turnaround. Despite how tanky these heroes are, that Chronosphere is a big cooldown, and at this stage, even without the Mask of Madness, there is some real kill potential. But I'm curious who they would actually rotate. The Enigma doesn't have a TP, at least not on him, and Scandal is preoccupied with the mid lane here.
Yeah, Razor, maybe? There's no Death Prophet ult yet, so I don't think Scandal's the best one to bring in, but he's about to get his level 9, so soon he could be Scandal. We'll see. For now, he's just chipping away at this mid tower. If he had his ult, it would be dead by now. But there's a glyph available for Empire. As we will see.
And that's the strength of DK rotating right now, is he knows that Scandal generally doesn't like to pick up that skill point, and as a result, if he can take advantage of the Elder Dragon form, which he has to actually skill up earlier, then he's going to get huge benefits from that.
Centaur Stampede used as they...
Yeah, I think they might have had a chance to stun out the Death Prophet on mid, but really there was not really much happening there. I think that either was a misclick or just a miscommunication.
Yeah, I didn't see two heroes closer than 1,000 units away to each other at that point. But Scandal will make his move top now. Has Exorcism. They can Chronosphere to get a kill here. This will be a big one. His mag is 1,000 gold off of Blink. It's going to be a slow blink, and a kill here will make it an extremely slow blink. And he is really their only initiator for team fights. But he's sitting quite far. Oh, almost denied his Tranquil Boots. Very dangerous for Mag.
Man, I've seen that happen too many times in such critical matches that every time I see it, I just feel bad for even the possibility.
Whenever that happens, honestly, you just want to quit the game.
Yeah, seriously.
You just really don't want to play anymore. It's the most frustrating feeling in Dota. But especially when there's no Invis hero in the game. It's just a rune. It's what are the friggin' chances, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Or you get stunned out and pull. I saw Telekinesis Rubik actually do it once, and it was fully visible. It just came out of the tree line. Oh my gosh. Your heart goes out for the poor lost Tranquil Boots on all sides. We see the Death Prophet getting a nice little deny here. That is actually 2 denies for their side. What do you think about the deny versus the living armor strat here? I mean, this obviously was more in their control. Top lane was more in their control than the mid lane, but even still.
I think just because you're against Dragon Knight, trying to keep a tower alive is... Like, he still has his ultimate up, right? So if you try to Living Armor it, he's just going to auto-attack it again. Living Armor's gone in, like, a second, and then you might give him the last hit. So just safer to deny it in this case.
Sure. We're going to see some second come out from Always Want to Fly, so when he does hit red form, not only is he securing at least the tower, tower is falling, but he's going to be farming up pretty heavily with those stacks.
Wow, Midas Razor for Illidan. Not something we see particularly often. And it just increases the late game threat that NVMI bring to the table. Chrono, Midas Razor, Death Prophet ult, not to mention a Black Hole and Overgrowth to follow this up. It's literally like the press R win game lineup. And now they'll time walk in top lane. It's on to Mag Exorcism, immediately deployed, and with the auto text of DK Phobos being quite substantial to get the kill. He was like 80% of their damage there. But hey, kill secured, and now they'll look to push.
So, they're getting followed up very, very easily right now. The Midas isn't even all that greedy because Empire just doesn't have the lineup to punish it. And actually, Phobos is going in. He gets over Venom right-click, so the anti-bash isn't even like RNG. It's
he's got
just...
Mask of Madness now.
He's got plenty of auto attacks. Nice tether, though, breaking him away. And it looks like Phobos is actually the one that's overextended.
Silenced and quickly dealt with by Empire. That is a much-needed kill on a very out-of-control off-lane Void. Basically getting free farm at that point. But he'll end up going down, and now they'll chase for Scandal. Into the cooldown he goes. It's going to hit him twice. Stampeding as well. They'll relocate the Wisp forward. Only a few inches, though. Not really ideal by Solo.
They just used Rocket Barrage. They weren't in range, and he's got the Living Armor now, so he's going to get out.
Yeah, if they relocated, I guess, a bit farther forward, they might have done it, but Death Prophet is always just so deceptively quick, especially with phase boots. Like, just when you think, like, okay, I think I know how fast she is. Then she's a race car, and she's literally halfway across the map. What a hero.
So, I mean, right now, Treant Protector's only at level 5. He's going to be playing the warding role so that anyone can get the bigger items here. So, in this position, yeah, they're just going to be playing defensive, building up a lot of farm on the Razor long term. And like you said, we don't see the Midas very often on the Razor, but there is absolutely no way to punish it here. The relocate was delayed significantly and used ineffectually for the first time around, and even the Skywrath Mage is just deprived of levels because of the failed aggressive tri-lane and how that really splits the experience 3 ways.
Looks like pretty standard build from DK Phobos. He'll be going back for what appears to be a Maelstrom. So, Empire, even if there's only the one Midas, they have to be afraid of NVMI allowing this to go late versus NVMI, I should say. See Silent with what's become kind of his go-to build. Oh, well, that thought. Bottom lane, Max jumped in onto Godblack. Stomp double edge, easy kill. But now the turn comes. Illidan, look at the Skywrath Mage. Clips his wings and brings him down, and Lil pursues out Mag. But can't get in range for the killing blow as Stampede will bring him back to safety. Still, they know Stampede's on cooldown. The Skywrath is dead, and I think NVMI might finally be ready to force a tower. Their time walking in. DK Phobos, Chrono. Finds resolution. He's tanky, but not tanky enough. Gets the Dragon Tail off, and still ends up going down. That's a big kill. And as tanky as Dragon Knight is supposed to be, with the magic damage from Time Lock and the double damage bashes in Chrono, he ended up dropping pretty quickly there.
Yeah, most definitely, and they're going to be able to follow this up with the tower kill pretty easily. Right now, there just aren't... I mean, they need the call down on the flat cannon, but Solo, he's got to relocate soon, because they have the mech. They're going to try it. Now with the stun coming out, they'll relocate.
And from the back, the Black Hole is waiting for Solo and Mag. Call down here to try and turn this one. Phobos take a decent amount of damage, and they're kiting DK Phobos nicely with this tether slow. The Wisp move to the left, makes her way out, but still Scandal at least gets a tower in exchange. So they blow the Black Hole, they lose the Enigma, but they get a tower, and end of the day.
They get 2. And yeah, Enigma gets the last hit on the tower as well, so that's a lot of gold going their way, and despite the relocate. I mean, the Black Hole, it's a good cooldown, but not the biggest without the blink, and they're happy to use it that way to minimize their losses. Okay there, buddy?
Yeah. So, NVMI, picking up our regen rune on the Treant Protector. No, just going to back off now. Let's see, what did they grab at the secret shop? It's going to be the Yules for the Death Prophet. Nearly completed. So, Silent will push in the bottom lane, and NVMI, with Black Hole down and Chrono down, for at least for a few more seconds, not in position, will give up a tower. This is kind of the pace Empire one, just spreading the map, finding kills, and fighting around the big ultimate cooldowns. But they need to keep on avoiding these direct team fights. That one turned out okay, but if there was one more ultimate ready or another hero like Death Prophet in position, it would have gone horribly south.
I'm not sold on this Shadow Blade coming off the Dragon Knight. I mean, it's great to get the initiation off on like a Faceless Void, catch him out. Maybe you could do the same for the Death Prophet, but soon you're going to have counter gank initiation potential from Lil on the Enigma in the right position, and obviously you're not going to get much out of the Shadow Blade in a Chronosphere. So, yeah, there's obviously merits to it, and the initiation potential with opening with Dragon Tail can't be underrated, but I still feel like they get that enough for a mag that they could just be going for, you know, the more standard build-up.
Yeah, Empire's not going to win team fights, though, and I guess that's what this build is about. So let's play to our strengths. Let's just spread the map. And I can kind of see the idea that Resolution has with this. They'll stun the Illidan, jumping in on bottom lane, quickly finish you off with the double-edged call-down follow-up. Nice execution there from Empire. A much-needed kill. Can they take an objective off of this, though? They need Dragon Form to take this tower down quickly, and they have it. So, well, they'll at least be threatening the tower. No glyph available. DK Phobos not in position to defend this, just pushing in the middle lane. He's now got his Maelstrom recipe. I'll purchase that immediately. He's going to rotate towards bottom. They're going to fight this one. If Empire force this, they could lose a lot. Scandal, ready with a Yule Scepter initiation. That's something that Empire have to be worried about. The first hero he jumps is either dead, or is the beginning of the whole team dying, if they try to protect him. So they'll back off.
Yeah, so that Dragon Form just brings the tower down to half HP. Godblack will pretty easily bring that back up to snuff, but they might be able to still go for Roshan if they're very ambitious. I mean, it's difficult because of the lineup the NVMI have, but you have to start taking things somewhere. They're going to actually go for a smoke play, but is it into the pit? No. Right up to the high ground. They have a ward in place. They're going to look for an opening, and it should be on DK Phobos.
This is a big kill. Dragon Tail. They'll get it off. Followed up with the Scarlet made Mystic Flare. Boy, he dropped quick. And they'll get the Void kill. That's the power of the Shadow Blade in action. And that's they need those pickoffs.
I still got the Blink stun for Mag. I think they could have gotten it before the time walk. But yeah, it definitely has merits, and if the Centaur is involved at all, then Resolution is finding awesome opportunities. So it's time for Gyrocopter to keep farming up, because he could stay where in his jungle and wait for the Wisp to bring him to the fights. So he's been able to just kind of free farm away and pick up this BKB. That's pretty huge. And on top of that, they're going to be able to farm up these Ancients a little bit more. I think they missed the stack. But either way, DK and Gyrocopter can both take advantage of that. But for right now, it does seem that Silent has farm priority.
Yeah, now the mech nearly being completed by Mag, Headdress and Buckler coming soon for him. So Empire getting these really cost-effective items to take them through the laning stage towards the mid-game and hopefully snowball an advantage. Right now, it's a slight rating advantage, leading by about 2,500 gold in experience. But it's tipped Empire's way, and they'll just need to keep on finding their openings. Can't sit back for too long. Haste turn up by Resolution. He can Shadowblade in and look to start a fight here. But NVMI are clustered in their own jungle. Not easy to get in range. And now they buy a gem. And this is the one issue with running the Shadowblade Dragon Knight is if they decide to 5-man and you try to initiate, it's just not going to happen. So let's see if they do. NVMI grouping up with 4. The one hero that's not here is Scandal. He's off towards the mid lane. Just trying to counter push that. Resolution will make his retreat, but too late. Caught by the Chrono, and that reveals Invis. So now Resolution will fall. No way out for him. They'll try and turn this with a Scarlet Mage Nuke, but the concussive shot just a warning blow in the end, and unable to keep NVMI off of their Dragon Knight.
Yep. So it's just going to be farming time for Silent. He's not going to be able to get too much as far as like follow-up, but they can still afford a couple losses like that and still be in this game as far as just general control, because they are on the dire side, because they can go for Roche after they pick up this mechanism. And Mag is not too far off here, only 300 gold, but relocate.
Dewarding. He's going to pay for this one. Call down, we'll find him. Maybe able to lift this with the magic stick. No, he drops the gem back the other way. Empire.
Oh,
they needed that, and they get it.
That's Enigma's gold, too. He would love to be building up a BKB or a Blink Dagger, but they spent 900 gold on this gem, and goes the other way. That is a very brutal loss at this stage in the game. And
now Gyro's getting to Scare Town. Silent has an Ogre Club picked up on top of his BKB. I guess we're going to see it just to Sanj and Yasha. This used to be the build that Loda preferred, was when they would run the Gyro Wisp, he would always go... He wouldn't even get BKB usually. They would just win so hard early game, because, you know, this was when Alliance was just ridiculous with Wisp. Tether stunned instead of just slowing, you know, way back in the day. And they would just win the game so hard that it never mattered that Gyro didn't scale that well into late game with that item build. So let's see if Empire have the same success. It'll be tougher with the new Wisp. Tether not stunning is a pretty big blow overall, but they've done well so far.
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of movement on Silent. He'll be able to maneuver appropriately with or without the Centaur Stampede, but I still think he needs to maybe look towards Manta Style. Manta Style allows him to break out of the overgrowth, even if he had already used his BKB. And essentially, Silent doesn't want to be waiting just for this tree to use his BKB. He wants to jump into the fight, avoid Yules, avoid Enigma stuns, and just go to town. And the Manta Style will give him a nice fallback. So for now, he's definitely going to have the S and Y, but should consider Manta as maybe like a third or fourth item.
Yeah, the only issue is that Halbert's pretty ass on Gyro this game. They need damage, so I guess you can just sit on Assange. Maybe he goes back for Mantle later and just waits until the BKB charges get lower. I'm not really sure.
For now, it's a 10-second BKB. If he just times it right, it shouldn't be an issue, but he does have to keep that factor in mind.
Yeah. Don't forget about the physical damage that NVMI have. If they overgrowth him and just go on him in the Chrono with Scandal's ultimate, he may die anyway. That's where the Wisp needs to be in good position to protect him. And Empire, they'll sit back a bit, will NVMI get aggressive. Pushing up on this mid lane, Illidan in the front. Close next to him is Scandal with the casual Vitality booster picked up, looking for an early heart. And while they're busy with the slow push, Empire is wrapping. They're heading from the southern ramp, and they're going to look to flank NVMI. DK Phobos is in the back. This is the hero you want to jump first. Resolution leads the way. Maybe goes on Lil instead. No, yeah, Dragon Tail and Lil. They'll just instantly try to bring them down. The Chronosphere from DK Phobos is actually way better than expected because 2 relocated into this one, but with the mech coming out, as well as the Tether heal, they'll keep Silent alive, and he's king right now with the BKB. Forces everybody from NVMI off the fight. They get 3. They do lose 2 in exchange, so not a massive win for them, but a win nonetheless. As they kill off 2 cores on the Enigma.
Yeah, it's a lot of farm coming out of the Gyrocopter now. Using that first 10-second BKB with a flourish. Yeah, the Chrono was actually quite good, but it wasn't fast enough to save the Enigma, unfortunately. And from there, yeah, they couldn't turn it back around. The Overgrowth came out at the exact time that the Gyro wanted to pop his BKB anyways, and it pretty much was just able to be shrugged off. They are going to take control of the enemy jungle a little bit here with not only their already in place wards, but start farming and even start killing. Godblack here has to be careful, but he's actually going to try to bring down Always Want to Fly. They get the Malefice done. He's locked down, and there's no hope.
Yeah, nice little pick off there, and well, Gem now back in Godblack's hands after the past few minutes. So NVMI feeling happy about that one. They'll have a way to deal with the Shadowblade Dragonite. They could deward, and then Godblack is a mobile ward with detection to boot. That's really frustrating for a Dragonite to play against.
And this is where it gets a little more difficult. Resolution just doesn't have the farm to compete with what the Razor and Death Prophet are going to be bringing. I mean, yes, he gets a lot of great passive armor from the Dragon's Blood, but they're still going to look to chew through that with the Eye of the Storm and with the Exorcism. And yeah, sometimes it's just so much damage that you can't really deal, and you can't just stack HP because the Midnight Pulse will start eating away at him quite heavily. So in general, he just needs to get more levels, more farm, and try to outpace them in terms of net worth.
Oh, Godblack, is he going to lose the gem again? Call down right outside the pit, and they're charging in onto him, and he's got no TP. This gem's going back the other direction. That's the 3rd time it's been passed around this game. It's a hot potato for sure, and now they will look at the Roche pit. And Silent up to 3.3k gold. This is the kind of lead you need as a Gyro. Oh, hold that thought. Top lane DK Phobos jumping on Mag, but they'll just force out a Stampede, and even with the haste rune, won't bother to pursue. Maybe they look to fight in the Roche pit, but if they want to do that, they've got to make their move right now, and they seem to be too slow. 2 heroes top, 2 still sitting back mid. It seems NVMI are going to turtle, and it'll be up to Empire if they want to force the issue.
Hard to deal with an Aegis on the Gyrocopter. He's going to be just building hard damage here. I love this decision. Sells the Magic Wand, buys the Eagle Song. He says, I've got 2 lives. I don't need lifesteal right now. Just go ahead, get the hard right clicks, and it's going to be fast. It's going to be deadly when they get the full flat cannon off. And despite the fact, like, the most recent nerf to Gyrocopter, other than, I think a tiny attack range nerf, was the flat cannon being such a long cooldown now. 30 seconds, it makes it very difficult to get 2 off in a single fight, but with the Aegis, that's very possible, and these heroes just aren't as tanky as they could be against them. So it's really all, right now, on silence. Resolution would love to be able to back him up, but is only just now finishing the BKB, so he's going to be trailing a little bit one way or another. But you get that overcharge, you get that BKB, you get the maximum value out of your 2 lives, and there's nothing that can stand against the gyrocopter right now, so at least they've got that going for them.
Yeah, Butterfly won't be... It's not really the most effective game for it. Like, for some of the reasons that you were talking about. There's Chronosphere to remove evasion. There's also Razor's ultimate, which doesn't care about it. Does a lot of damage. There's Death Prophet ult, which can't be evaded. So, it gives you attack speed, but as far as the evasion goes, it's... And some damage, but the evasion's pretty worthless this game, to be honest.
It's actually possible that he could go Ethereal Blade. I mean, obviously, it's not standard in any capacity,
no.
but...
Please no. I've seen one Ethereal Blade gyrocopter, and it was the biggest throw of Eternal Envy's life. I'm not even exaggerating.
That makes 2 of us. But, yeah, I don't know. The bottom line is, if he only gets the Butterfly for some massive attack speed and agility, he's still going to get a lot of value out of it. And it is going to mess with the Razor, since he's not going to be going for a Monkey King bar for a long time.
Fire farming the woods. Not NVMI farming the woods. It's been kind of a slow game, to be honest. We had some hectic ones earlier, but these teams are just taking their time, and I think this is... It's fine for Empire for now, but they don't want this to go on too much longer. If they keep on taking favorable fights, winning, and then going back to farming, that's okay, but purely farming when you're up against this much AoE is and not to mention this much late game damage. Like, they have Void, Death Prophet, Razor. They can build a refresher on Illidan. He's already up to 1500 gold. DK Phobos will have BKB soon. I'm still really not convinced that Empire can take this past, like, the 40-minute mark without winning a bunch of fights in succession.
Yeah, the draft is just really strong in general from NVMI, so if they take it passive, they still have some good chances there. But I kind of feel like they need to at least force a few fights to get less charges on that BKB. Because if they're going up against 9 and 8 second BKBs around the 40-50 minute mark, it's going to be too much. So I really do feel like at least forcing a BKB charge and then trying to disengage might be a better way to do things, but it's a very fine line between doing that and overcommitting.
DK Phobos gets caught out. Quick Dragon Knight stun to start this off. Overgrowth trying to keep him alive for the time being. DK Phobos not yet brought down. They keep him alive for ages. Can he get off a Chronosphere? Nope, not in time. The Black Hole's there seconds after the Void hits the deck as Silent charges in. This sets up a great call down and flat counting combination for him. Lil now forced back. Mag on the chase. They find Scandal. They're charging onto the Death Prophet. They kill her almost instantly. She barely survives through this. Drops back down to Earth after Yules and dies. And that's the good timing for Empire. Just fight right now, before the Void gets his BKB, before Death Prophet gets her next big item to follow up the Heart, before Razor can work towards an Ags. A refresher to go with the Ags. That was a great timing window for them, and they seized it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lil didn't actually pop the mechanism before he went for the BKB. Black Hole was just looking to respond with Disable rather than the Sustain, and although Godblock kept him up for quite a long time, and the backtracks helped as well, he just didn't have the durability without the BKB, so looking for that next. But for now, it's going to be some heavy losses in the hero department and the loss of the tier 2 on the top lane. Map control drastically in Empire's favor, and NVMI are going to have to fight tooth and nail for pretty much every step outside the space now.
And now a Butterfly on the Silent. So that's complete, and I think what we're gonna see is he just sits on the Sanjin Yasha and builds one more damage item. Maybe at that point he goes back and replaces it for Manta, but honestly, SNY is a pretty damn good item. And the thing I don't like about Manton Gyro is the only thing it's good for is for the active. Like, the damage and the attack speed is kind of eh. You'd rather just have a Sanjin Yasha for that, and obviously your illusions don't get flat counted, so I'm kind of okay with him sitting on this for a while.
Sure.
We'll see what he wants to do, though. Godblack going invis, but...
Solo's the gem.
Yeah, he's got to be careful about this movement. It's just awkward as a tree, because, like, the whole point of the hero at this stage of the game is to make these kinds of plays, but you really can't do it when your team's fed away a gem. They'll deward a bit. And now Godblack walks in onto Resolution. They have a Sentry Ward ready. Resolution just turns and immediately stunned. Then Mag comes in. Great 3-hero stuff from the Centaur. What a player. On to Illidan they'll go. But still, in spite of this, the Razor's done good damage. They need Silence to finish them off quickly. Before the minus armor can stack up, they'll get the kill. It's a 3-for-1 exchange. And everyone on Empire dropping low to that. Man, imagine if they didn't hit that 3-hero stun. Once again, Void doesn't get a chrono off. Like, that's how strong NVMI's team fight is. This is without them hitting even a remotely good fight. They still bring 3 low, but they don't finish anyone off.
Yeah, but it's all about the theory versus execution. Right now, it's just the Void keeps on getting singled out, picked off before anything could really happen, and the teamfight has so much potential, but they're not realizing it. And now the high ground's about to get forced. Midnight Pulse will delay it quite a bit. Gigantic radius and duration makes it very difficult on Mag in particular. But after being forced back, Solo has no more earn charges to regenerate with, and they are just gonna take what they can get and back off from there. Aegis being reclaimed in 5 seconds.
Yeah, Empire's going to back off, and Resolution will head up towards the top lane. Meanwhile, Silent heading back towards bottom. Aegis, as you mentioned, expired. So I think with Empire now, they'll wait for one more Aegis and maybe one more item on Gyro. And then you'd really like to take that first lane of Rax, win a big fight, and just push your advantage to the absolute limit. They're also getting close to another item on the Dragon Knight. Resolution, Assault Caress inbound, that will accelerate their push by several orders of magnitude. So this is a key timing for Empire. And it actually might be up to NVMI to try and win a fight before the rush respawns, because I don't know if they can... I think they can kill the heroes, but I don't know if they can stop Empire from breaking base if they let them get to the high ground. Once, after this next Aegis, with that new item on the DK and the Gyro.
So where does Silent go from here? Does he go for the Satanic to just get that huge tankiness in case he does get caught in the Chrono, or is that too risky against the Midnight Pulse?
What do you think?
I mean, I think there's a lot of value in it. Obviously, the lifesteal is a huge active. They're not going to really have to worry about getting purged off. He's not going to be homing missiling a Razor anytime soon. So I think if he can time the lifesteal active really well, it's a great build-up, and he's already got pretty much all the bread and butter for it. But maybe he wants to consider at least BOTs before that, and obviously, as the fights progress, maybe refreshing the BKB. Kind of a hyper luxury pickup, so you don't always get the maximum value out of it if you just kind of rush it out. But at the same time, they do need to make sure that he positions carefully, because the Black Hole, the Faceless Void Chronosphere, the Overgrowth, you can only take so many fights where you can prevent 2 out of those 3 spells from happening. But eventually, it's going to be that big fight where MVMI have all their ultimates used effectively, and from there, you have to make sure the Gyrocopter's ready for it.
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of this lineup, is it really only takes one good fight for NVMI. Suddenly, look at one new item on each hero. Maybe the Razor completes AC and starts working on Refresher, which seems to be the build for Illidan. Maybe Death Prophet has her Shiva's Guard by that point. And then the game could just turn in a heartbeat. The one thing they really need is this DK Phobos BKB. He's been waiting so long to build it. And this is an amazing BKB game. Empire have some physical damage from Flat Cannon and Dragon Knight, but they're largely... The way they burst you down is with their nuke damage.
Yeah.
So, this is an important... honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing them sit 5 behind DK Phobos right now just to get his BKB, but I guess they'll settle for 3 and just hope that nobody comes to knock him.
Absolutely. The Mystic Flare has been doing him in left, right, and center. I mean, they do not have any Force Staffs, which seems to be kind of a go-to counter to negate the impact of that ultimate. But yeah, just a single War Stomp, Mystic Flare, and that almost always is enough to bring the Void down. But BKB could be enough to turn that around. And yeah, he's going to have it soon, but still, it's just another time frame where it's lacking, and he feels really poor about it. But on the other hand, they have a couple of other items coming their way. Godblack's going to get the Eul Scepter of Divinity pretty soon, and that's going to be very nice for them. This Midas, as the game goes longer, kicks in further and further for Illidan, so he's going to be able to build up what looks to be... I can't call the AC or the Shivas, but...
I'm thinking AC, because you've already got Death Prophet building a Shiva's Guard.
Cool. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. The one thing, I guess, with Razor is he's just not going to use the mana as well, so probably makes more sense to give it to the Death Prophet. As far as the Shiva's Guard is concerned. Sure. But NVMI will just camp at the tower bottom lane. And Empire just waiting for Roche, which is literally going to respawn like 10 seconds after Always Wanna Fly walks out of this pit. Kind of unfortunate timing, but this is pretty much a max. Oh wait, it's 1 minute short of the max.
1 month.
So they might wait a minute to check this again at most, but they'll be checking it again soon.
So we finally see the Blink Dagger come out on the Enigma. It's been like a long time coming, so many fights without it, but now he has it here. He has Black Hole at 9 seconds, the Mechanism, the Soul Ring, the Blink. This is where you really want to be at Enigma at 25 minutes, but in this case, it's better late than never. They have a lot of potential with this set, and yeah, you blink BKB, it allows you to get the cast on both Midnight Pulse and the Black Hole, which is going to be really good against just raw HP from this Centaur. This Centaur has 3,400 raw HP, but he doesn't have a cloak, so the Midnight Pulse is just going to tear through him. And there's the Satanic.
Damn, dude, this Enigma must be an amazing player with his 9-second black holes. You said black hole. Yeah, you meant BKB. I know what you meant.
Man.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sure I've said like 50 things like that, but I'm calling you out on that one because I heard it. So
yeah, it's a particularly funny
no
one.
No mercy, Blaze. No mercy.
He's got a 1 1/4 of a refresher orb, so big channels.
Pretty baller. Well, Empire will group up again. They got an easy Aegis. Satanic now on the gyro. This is kind of critical mass. Like, you've got room for one more item. You could get your boots to travel. You could save for buyback, sure, but by the time Silent gets that level farm, come on. We're going to see 3 items on all of these cores for NVMI likely as well. So this is the time to fight. And NVMI feel the same way. They've smoked. Odin's up on the high ground, a bit to the north side. They'll go in on Silent, but there's a relocate ready. Do they get the timing just right? Nope, just tethers in to try and keep him alive. Didn't bother with the relocate. They're going to lose Silent once, but he'll have a second time to turn this fight around. Mag just waiting patiently. I don't know if it will matter, though. The gyro's going to be left alone as the black hole clipped everyone's out. BKB's flat cannon simply not enough. Or is it? Maybe it is. He can do it alone. Superman gyrocopter forcing everyone from MVI back, but can't finish the job. Illidan nearly finished off, 50 HP left, but he'll turn, start stealing damage. The TP out's attempted. Does Mag make it out? He barely survives. That black hole, man, that just might have won them the game. And that's why
killed himself on the return damage too. He dropped down to 40 HP and was charging another auto attack before that TP finished. That could have been disastrous, but...
And that's why you really want to end the game against a lineup that has Chrono, Black Hole, Death Prophet, and Razor. Like, no matter what. You just want to end the game before that can happen. No matter how farmed you are. There's Midnight Pulse. It can always go badly.
Yeah, that is just absolutely insane how much damage they're able to do, how perfect that black hole was, and it's all about the blink dagger there. They go for they know that they can just go for the chrono for initiation and the black hole for counter initiation, and then I guess the tree and protector is that last leg of the journey there. But even then, we see how farmed this gyrocopter is. 24,000 net worth. Even with all that, it almost doesn't seem like it's enough because, yes, he does fall, but he takes a lot with him. Using the BKB with the Satanic, there's just no answer for it, and he's just absolutely obliterating them. Now they're going to get some nice positive armor. They're going to get the AC aura up, which is pretty huge, but even still, this gyrocopter with the Satanic is a force to be reckoned with, and they just need to keep teamfights like that happening.
I was actually wondering if we were going to see like a defensive relocate out attempt by the Wisp. And, you know, just relocate like behind enemy lines or just a bit farther back, kind of like a Pylai Die style one. But so I guess Solo felt like, I'll just keep him alive with Overcharge and then we'll win this fight in round 2. But he didn't bank on the black hole. That was really where they ran into trouble. It is a tough thing to time that relocate as well with the Chronosphere, because you can't tether too soon or else you'll get stunned before the relocate happens. But yeah, didn't attempt for that. I wonder if that would have been the better play looking back on it in hindsight.
Oh yeah, that and the static link was draining a lot of gyrocopters damage, so he needed to react really quickly with that, otherwise the first life is hardly worthwhile for the gyro.
Pursuit onto Mag, but both teams getting a bit scared until this Chronosphere comes out from DK Phobos, quickly kills off one. It's 2 down already, and now NVMI, they found their footing in these fights. Silent trying to turn and engage, but he doesn't have a Wisp to support him. It's up to the Dragon Knight to assist, and it seems it might be enough. They might just be too tanky. Not enough damage, apparently. The Black Hole, the Midnight Pulse, it's all required to win these engagements. Scandal goes down. It's 4 heroes dead. Wow. Complete turn of events. Empire strike back immediately. And NVMI, more reliant on the Black Hole than what they thought.
Yeah, this game just got something insane. Some great execution from Empire and some massive farm on their core heroes versus this, generally speaking, superior mid to late game teamfight draft for Godblack and NVMI. So it really is, can the potential skills from these heroes be enough to weather this storm of this massive, massive gyrocopter? And I honestly don't know. I mean, right now his BKB has dwindled down to only 5 seconds, so it's going to be very difficult for Silent to time everything the way he wants to. Using the BKB to break the overgrowth while nullifying the magical effects from NVMI and also covering his Satanic, because the Death Prophet, you saw it in the last fight at least, a couple seconds afterwards, but she can use the Yule Scepter to dispel the Satanic buff, and of course wait out the duration.
NVMI have 5 alive now. They've got a double buyback if they want to pop it, but 10 seconds until those heroes respawn. It seems they don't want to. There's your defensive relocate I mentioned earlier. Then the black hole. This is a pretty good one, but it didn't catch Silent, and Mag's tanky. Not good enough. The turn comes now as Mag stomps Lil, brings him down. The 2 cores respawn, and they want to chase this out, but well, they need a little bit more. They continue to steal the gyrocopter's damage. -82, -110. Silent needs to retreat now. He's got to wait until this static link ends. He's lost 224 attack damage in total, and now hits like a mewling kitten. But the static link's going to wear off soon, and they can go back in. They know Black Hole's down. They know Chrono's down. This is their time, Blaze. They might be able to just break the base. Dragonite, does he have a buyback? He does. Wisp in 30 seconds could bring this Dragonite back into the fight. But at the same time, I guess Enigma will be up then, though still, Chrono will be online. But if they want, they could bring Dragonite in here immediately when he respawns.
He'll have the AC. He'll have the AC out of his stash. They can relocate him into this, and that would be huge. But gotta wait it, and hopefully Solo thinks of it. But for right now, they're waiting. The Overgrowth is going to be back up, but Silent has his BKB. Just needs to save it for that.
For now, Gyrocopter, static link, but this time it'll be broken quickly. Silent preserving the vast majority of his damage here as they'll push once more under the breach. Up onto the high ground they go. Goblek is Overgrowth ready. They can jump in on Silent. Chrono online. It's just cooled down as the Skarath Mage ultimate comes through the defensive relocate. Literally a half second too late. And now they've got to retreat. They have to scatter to the winds. NVMI, they hold the high ground again. And it's cost them 0 buybacks to date. Wisp relocate. The relocate ends. Then blinks up to the north. Goes for the TP out. Bash. Bash. Oh, there's your rolls. Well, say goodbye to your Wisp. See ya, Solo. We hardly knew ye.
And yeah, they just keep on kind of staggering these fights to buy time for the next cooldown to come through. So now we're going to have the Black Hole for the next fight, most likely 90 seconds. Plenty of time considering Empire's respawns. And yeah, we do see one weakness out of this Gyrocopter's build. It's amazing when he can actually right-click. It's amazing when he can actually get the auto attacks off. But if they have Chrono or Black Hole controlling him, he is completely useless. And along with that, of course, the Razor has the potential to negate his impact entirely. Now we see Mag getting hit. Look at his damage. His HP just drop from this Midnight Pulse. It's like half the damage right now.
OP. Oh my god. The stomp comes out. Now they're going to start stealing his damage as Illidan chases him quite far through the river, but rotation incoming for Resolution. Lurks on the high ground with the Shadow Blade ready to go. Not going to engage into that one. Man, that Midnight Pulse is just ridiculous.
And he's going for the Ags too. Lil is working on Aghanim Scepter before the Refresher Orb. He just wants to make sure he gets the double Midnight Pulse and could just, no matter how high in HP they get, with the Strength Dragonite, that beefy Centaur, and of course, as we see with the way the Gyro's building, he wants to be able to just melt through it all.
Honestly, it's like a clash in styles in a lot of ways. Like, you just look at this NVMI draft, and it's like kind of your classic 6.81 draft at this point. Just mass BKB counters, really. Like, these are all 4 of these 5 heroes are ultra popular right now. At least 3 of them. Maybe not the Enigma, but he's close to being ultra popular. And end of the day, like it shows you how BKB carries like Gyro really struggle if it gets to this stage of the game against the popular heroes in the metagame. I honestly feel like Empire have to outplay NVMI so hard to win this.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like they've been doing a great job of it, but at the same time, they can't let up on that momentum at all. They have to execute the fights. They want another pick-off where they can just kill off Phobos, but it's so hard to do that now that he has the BKB. Even though he's used it every fight, he actually, he only picked it off a little bit ago, but he's already down to 6 seconds on the duration.
Can Empire find that miraculous fight? Can they somehow bait up these ultimates, find heroes that don't have buyback, pick them off, find an opening? I mean, they're close, Blaze. They took the tier 3 bottom, but the glyph's cooling down. Chrono has been online. Aghanim Scepter not too far off for DK Phobos. In fact, just got it. So he's got a 1-minute cooldown on his Chronosphere. It was already quite short to begin with, and now it's only gotten easier to drop one, get a solo kill, and still have it ready for the actual high ground attempt.
Yeah. Refresher Orb coming out for Razor. That might is really paying dividends now that they're 45 minutes in the game, but he will drop a TP scroll for it, so might negate some presence as far as if they do get caught outside their base. Either way, a lot of value here with this pickup, and the multi-static link, the multi-Eye of the Storm, huge.
Yeah, absolutely huge, and it means there's even less pressure on Scandal to not get burst down. Like, he doesn't have to be the big damage dealer. In fact, Illidan's probably doing as much, if not more, in these fights. And he's also doing more to counter the gyrocopter, just stealing all his damage. Like, if Gyro gets chronoed, it's not just that he might die, it's also that he just doesn't threaten NVMI anymore.
Yeah, and then you have to enter rapier territory just to negate that impact, so
yeah.
He's not that farmed.
No, and if he ever has to go for a rapier against this much, like, at that point you just throw everything. You just throw all 5 ults at him and just kill him. Well, 6 ults, counting the refresher on Razor. And if you kill him, that's GG.
Yeah.
But Empire, are there not... By the way, I just want to point out the network of mines that they've created here. The Sentry Wards do not actually do damage, although you might think that from the amount that Empire planted down. They just really don't want to get caught, since they currently are lacking the gem that they had stolen away from Godblack earlier this game.
Yeah, it's just going to be the tree, too. Like, that's the Nature's Guise is the only way that would happen, but it's well warranted at this point. That kind of team-wide smoke around, and of course trying to take out wards so they can control the Roche pit better. But this is Cheese Roche, this is big, and I don't really favor Empire's lineup in pit engagements. Sure, Gyrocopter's huge, DK can be, but NVMI just have so much in those small choke points.
And they can't split push, like that's the big issue. They have a Wisp, but they don't really have a lineup that quickly threatens buildings. No Tiny Wisp, no Nature's Prophet, so they can't draw NVMI back very easily. And NVMI are just continuing to force the issue of the pit. Looking for the Chrono. DK Phobos will find the Dragonite. That's the first hero they'll go for. Illidan now pops his double ult. Goes direct into Silent, but gets annihilated. Didn't steal the damage quickly enough. Now the Black Hole comes through with the Death Prophet Exorcism over the top. Wisp trying to keep Silent alive. He might be able to turn this. Not sure if they have the firepower. They haven't stolen too much. Silent dropping lower and lower still, but Mag gets the stop. It's on 3. Silent living by a prayer, but ends up going down. Scandal now isolated. The missile will follow through. They'll get the kill. It's 4 dead. They've done it. They've finally found a way through all the ults, all the AoE combos of NVMI. And it was just the squishiness of the Razor. He thought there'd be a black holes for him sooner. It took too long. Didn't get off a good static link, and Gyro just pounded him into submission with right clicks. Man, he dropped fast, Blaze.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane there. Of course, they did have to commit a bit, and the DK's back in it now, but man, they just, they had the opportunity for Silent just to make the most of his damage, get off the full flak, and even the Razor with all that armor, the AC, the Ags, you'd think this would make him tanky, but at this late game trajectory, it's too much.
Yeah, it's where it's like, okay, I've got Refresher, now I need help. I'm really, if they black hole that Gyro before he gets off a couple auto attacks, that they easily win that fight, but yeah, just took too long to find the opening for it. And now they might lose a Rex for their trouble. Maybe even 2 lanes of Rex. Buyback situation is bleak. But they're also respawning soon. Only Death Prophet out of the fight for a long time. They'll be forced to back off, so once again, NVMI hang on to their base. It does push Empire a bit farther ahead in terms of farm, but the good news for them is that Gyro did not get the Aegis this time around. Actually, I guess doesn't have room for it anymore. It goes the way of the Dragonite, but really not a great Aegis carrier. You die once, and, well, no Dragon form for you.
Yeah. It's actually interesting. Mag was doing a hell of a lot of damage to tier 3 just by tanking it, just by receiving the auto attack for the Heart Halberd build he's gone for. That's 193 divided by 2 plus 20. That's actually a lot of return damage going the way of the tower. And okay, Godblack not in a position he wants to be.
Gem down, boys. Gem down. That's got to be like the 7th or 8th time it's been passed around this game. I'm surprised that there's not 2 gems in the game, honestly, at this point. Like, oh, actually, there are now. Okay, is that that's the 2nd gem? That's actually both were purchased by Empire, so I guess they got one of the back that Godblack had stolen earlier. Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, either way, no gem for NVMI. Not that it's really going to matter right now.
Yeah, they can very clearly see what's forthcoming, and they're afraid they can't do much about it. The Midnight Pulse will be dropped down here, but has to watch out from just being stun initiated. Look at how defensive he is with this blink. Just can't get anywhere near anything.
And still gets backstabbed by Resolution, who came from the south. He came from behind. Looks for Illidan. Can't finish him off, but the tier 3 will fall. And I just want to mention, Blaze, not that it really matters. There's actually a 3rd gem. So the one that NVMI was sitting on earlier, they've left on the chicken for now. That was the Empire stolen gem. So Godblack just had a spare in his stash in case he needs it for a rainy day. But they'll leave Resolution up front, and now they jump in mid. They know Silent's the one they gotta focus. Wisp is ready. Tries to relocate him out, doesn't do it though. Silent ends up getting caught out. Focused in the Chronosphere, brought down. Now they'll lose the Wisp as well. Resolution has to fight his way out alone. He can't do it, man. He just can't do it. He's gonna have to cheese a retreat. Mag will also fall. It's too much pressure on the Wisp. Just can't pull it off. And
No, it wasn't even his fault. The gyrocopter BKB'd right when the chrono hit, and you can't tether BKB targets. So for that duration, you couldn't relocate him out.
I couldn't even tell he was BKB'd, honestly, man. There was so much shit flight around there.
And there's just too much, but...
Yeah, he tried to save him, though. Wisp ran in, was looking for the tether relocate, but... It even used the ability, but just didn't have the opening.
It's a critical loss. These black holes, these chronospheres, they're just too impactful right now. And at this point, they're going to force the gyro buyback, which is, needless to say, immense against a hero that will only have one life for the next 5 minutes. I mean, this could be setting up for not a victory now, but 53, 54 minutes in the game. Very possible.
I think we'll see at least one more good defense by Empire, even if NVMI push through. No Exorcism, only a single Razor ultimate online. Does he want to use it now? He could if he does. Call down, thrown out as Void jumps in, looking for the Chronosphere. Didn't get the Gyro though, only found the DK who's pulled back by a defensive relocate, kept alive. It's only a 1 minute ultimate for DK Phobos though. Nothing much ventured here. As the Centaur buys back, they gotta chase and find something for this. Leaping forward to solo. Phobos may just turn on him, the relocate. Well, they'll send it back to base now. Made the effort, but couldn't get enraged for that. As Godblack is just hiding on the sidelines. He'll TP out. And they'll go straight back down mid, but Black Hole's up. That's the long duration cooldown. There will be a single Razor ultimate ready. Actually might have two. In 1 minute they'll have two. And they'll have Exorcism. So Empire are officially pushing into the death trap if they go again.
Dude, this is just like, this game has been just a tug of war straight down the mid lane over and over and over again. Just massive team fights, forcing out what they can. The big ultimates, AoE combos. I mean, this is what Dota's all about. These big clashes, no rat, no nonsense, just live or die by the sword. And so far, Silent, he's been doing a lot of killing, but unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword, and he does go down a number of times. So with the buyback on cooldown for 4.5 minutes, and the fact that he's not going to be progressing towards what I would presume is Scotty. I mean, it could be changing the Sanjin Yasha out for the Manta style we were talking about earlier, but we'll see. Either way, I don't know what he can really go for to change the current state of affairs. If he dies inside of Kronos, inside a black hole, he's done for, and that's something that is just a cold, hard fact.
Do you even really want a BKB at this point? Like, I honestly am just feeling like it's almost a pointless item. Almost everything that NVMI really has to offer goes through it. Aren't you just better off, like, replacing that with a damage item? Or maybe Scotty?
It's the Overgrowth Dispel right now. I mean, also stops Yule Scepters, which are really annoying. You use the BKB to cover your Satanic, because otherwise you just get Yules, and the Satanic buff gets dispelled. And suddenly you can't get that major amount of lifesteal. So there's value in it, but I think, yeah, the replacement is needed. He actually buys another Yasha. Yeah, he is going to just ditch this BKB, I think.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it, honestly. Like, yeah, you're right that the Yules are an issue, but at the same time, everything's an issue. And most of the spells go through BKB. If he gets Black Hold, he's probably dead. If he gets Chronoed and they're double Razor ulting him with Death Prophet Exorcism, he's probably dead.
You can disassemble Sanjin Yasha, right?
Yeah.
He just sold Sanjin Yasha and bought a new Manta, including the Yasha, but whatever.
Well, we'll have to see how the fight works out now. They jump in on Illidan, stopping him to start this one. The Scarth made Mystic Flare there. They instantly kept the Razor. The Chrono's pretty awful, honestly. It only goes on to Always Want to Fly. Black Hole on 2. It might be enough to turn. The solo will fall. The supports are down for the count, but Silent, Mag, and Resolution are in pursuit. They'll easily deal with the Enigma here. He's going down for sure. But the bigger question is, can they kill off Godblack? Can they kill off, ideally, the Death Prophet? Mag was looking for a leap in, but he fails on that one, and now Scandal chases him the other way. Has he Yules ready to go? Throwing him up in the air. He'll be dropping back down in a moment's time. Illidan rejoins the fight. He bought back and returned to this one. BOT'd in even. They need to get a kill. Mag lives. Mag lives. They get nothing.
Jeez.
They gotta at least go high ground. They've got double Razor ultimate. They just blew a buyback on him. It seems they'll get nothing. Oh, maybe they go in again.
Yeah, they got the Chrono in 15 seconds. It has to be much better than the last one, though. That last one hit a Skywrath who got, I think, relocated out.
Relocated forward into the fight, yeah.
Yeah, like, that was nothing. But, you know, he's been on point so far. You can afford to slip once, but slipping twice will be the end of this game for them. He has to be on point from this point forward, and it's a difficult hill no matter what. Just looking at the graphs, so you can kind of see how erratic this game has been, that Empire had this tremendous advantage. They have all this farm. They don't even care to efficiently sell their items. They throw 1,100 gold in the gutter right now. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that they have a lot going for them, and they just have to avoid the control.
Okay, so he just sold the full Sanjin Yasha and used the money to buy a Manta?
Yes, he had a Yasha in his stash when he walked up to sell his Sanjin Yasha.
Yeah, I saw that in his stash, but oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I guess he just. I guess the thinking is I really want to keep the BKB. So, if that's the thought process, then I mean, I don't know. He had already bought the Yasha at that point. I'm guessing what happened is Silent was like, all right, I'm gonna get rid of BKB, so I'll just buy the Manta because I'd rather have the Sanjin Yasha than a BKB I don't want. Shit, I should probably keep BKB. It's too late to sell the Yasha. All right, I guess I'm just gonna sell the Sanjin Yasha instead. So I could kind of see how it would happen if that was the order of thoughts, but yeah, it works out to be a waste of money, that's for sure.
No matter the case, he doesn't really desperately need funds at this stage. He's going to pick up his BOTs, sell his treads, and all he needs money for right now is buyback. Like, unless he's going into rapier mode, he is 6 slot. I mean, could go for the new BKB, but we mentioned that's not that valuable. It disrupts the tether, and there's only so much damage that you can nullify with that in particular.
I honestly would love a rapier. Like, it's not just because it's fun, but I think they might need the damage, man. Their last fight was a great fight for them, and they got like 3 heroes to NVMI extremely low, killed 2, and just couldn't finish the fight. With a rapier on gyro, that is a completely won fight for them. No way that NVMI lives through around the flag. Top lane, blink in, and now they'll relocate. They're finally using this offensively. Illidan bought back. That's a dieback from him. 2 minutes on the sidelines, and Silent's in position to look to break the base. He'll kill off the tier 3, while Scandal will run forward, try to keep them off of this. The relocate will bring them back, though. Centaur blinking out in the nick of time, and do they go into Roche now? Is that the goal here? Or do you try and force something? You know Razor's dead for 100 seconds. I think you just go straight down mid. Empire,
yeah.
They're moving towards that. They'll bring in Silent. Resolution, Shadow Blading up.
Keeps...
Oh, they're BOTing.
That's the second time he's satanic.
Top lane. Mag jumps in again. He's found Scandal this time. He's finding the pickoffs while Resolution stuns DK Phobos, and they'll begin to chase forward with the Shiva's Guard. If they could just slow one, it barely clips Scandal. They really want to DK Phobos, but he's up onto the high ground, and he's still hunting this damn Void. The Void's not the Predator. It's the Centaur doing the work. Resolution works on a range Rax. He'll claim this easily. The question is if NVMI gets something in exchange for it. It goes down now. And Phobos sleeps in. To the southern side he goes. On to Silent. Where's that Wiz? Relocating it now. Oh, couldn't relocate him out of it. Ends up going down to the Chronosphere. They lose the gyro. He buys back instantly, though. He can BOT into this one. But the black hole is there. Wow. Oh, what a beautiful one from Lil. He'll catch out everybody. And now the gyro that bought back is like, well, I'm just going to have to walk down mid. I think the creep that he's BOTing to might have died.
No, he had it on cooldown for 15 seconds when he bought back.
Okay, so
now he finally has it, he's going right in.
Well, he'll go in, but Mag is forced off. Silent will
solo
TP back in, but can't get in range for anything. This could be devastating.
I feel like Silent's on tilt right now. I've been watching him, and he just keeps on doing things weird. Now we do see him getting hexed up. We're going to see the reinforcements of Mag. Can they get the stomp onto Scandal here? Actually, they're the ones that were being pursued still. Scandal really wants this, but he can't do all that much by himself. And Godblack's not really the one to give him the backup. So, in the end, they just go into the pit. 2 versus Beast. And they are looking to claim this Aegis and cheese, but like, what do you drop? Do you drop the mechanism here? Do you sell the cheese? I don't know.
Mech's pretty at this stage of the game. Yeah. He's just gonna drop the mech. I'm fine with that. I don't think mech offers you that much at 60 minutes in compared to an Aegis or a cheese. I think if you're Silent now, you just gotta build a rapier.
Drop the BKB. He hates that thing.
The other thing to point out is that, I mean, Silent has made some mistakes, but Solo has really been inconsistent with saving him. He had the 1 save on the Scarlet Mage. He has failed like 3 or 4 times to save Silent with the relocate out, and Silent's kind of helpless without that. If he gets chronoed and the Wisp doesn't save him, and NVMI are able to finish him off, like, what is he supposed to do? There's nothing he could build that would let him live through that. Like, absolutely nothing. Maybe if he built a heart, but then he's useless because he's not doing enough damage. I don't know, Blaze. We're an hour into this game, and I feel like Empire is still just like, man, we had such a good lead. How have we not won this damn thing yet?
Yeah. What Silent needs to do is just build up enough gold to buy an Aghanim Scepter that you can keep in the stash and use the global call down to farm the other lanes. I don't even know, man.
The 7-slotted gyro. The dream is real. Global cooldown it's a lot of fun in pubs, I gotta say, on a totally unrelated note. It's pretty awful Aghanim's upgraded practice when the whole hero is really built around the flak cannon.
Yeah.
But hex
refresher for flak? I'd like the bottom line is still, if he gets black hole, he's gone.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like that's how they're. If he doesn't get Black Hold, I think there's a decent chance Silent wins the fight first team, as long as he's not 1v5 or like 1v3. But Jesus Christ, Empire.
Yeah,
This looked like they could just slow siege, take it easily, not easily but comfortably, and then NVMI had that one good fight near their base, and ever since then, Empire have just been unable to consistently hold the momentum in this game. You look at the graph, and I mean, it basically spells Game of Throws. Not even throws, but just like complete back and forth topsy-turvy Dota. And definitely some misplays for both teams.
Yeah, but it was on NVMI to actually get their shit together and actually start using their ultis the way that they were designed to with the draft. It took a long time, a very significant portion of the game where they just couldn't collaborate the way they wanted to, and DK Phobos kept on getting picked off, but he got that BKB. It's done wonders for him to actually enable the fights, and now we actually see a 10-second BKB picked up on the Razor. So, yeah, with the Refresher Orb, that's 20 seconds of immunity, 2 Eye of the Storms, but if he still melts the same way we saw to the physical damage, there's going to be a lot of problems on hand.
Yeah. Empire pushing in the... Well, not even pushing in the bottom lane. The creeps are trying to do that for them. They're just looking to creep cut, I guess. I'm honestly just flabbergasted. Like, I think there's, like, just no game plan anymore if you're Empire.
It's fair. It's fair. Like,
They've just so consistently struggled to take these team fights. I don't know, Blaze. I think that's why we see them just really kind of milling around. They're like, well, do we want to really push? Like, they didn't go well last time. They have Chrono, Black Hole, the Aghanim's Black Hole, by the way, which has probably been up for a while on Enigma. But yeah, it's, they just don't know what to do. They're like, all right, let's just back off.
I almost want to see like a next level play where they initiate with the Centaur and then they have the Wisp solo relocate right behind the target, trying to bait out the Black Hole. He goes for the Black Hole onto essentially what he thinks is 3, but it's just a Wisp and the Centaur, and then the Cavalry arrives, like with the Stampede. I don't know. I'm trying to think of different ways they could approach these fights other than just brute forcing it like they've been trying, which obviously hasn't worked. And yeah, there's only a couple of ways I can think of. Either the really slow siege with global call down play, or they have to get the Black Hole on the ground with something really insane.
Yeah, it does feel like they haven't been able to use relocate very creatively this game. There was the one relocate gank top, but NVMI are just not giving them openings. They're just like sitting as 4, all tucked away in their base. If you relocate on the Enigma, yeah, you get Black Hole. Void, you get Chrono, and you're probably just dead from there. It's just been one of those games where it's like, man, you'd love to just relocate backdoor at Brax or something. There's been creeps in the base, but they're just too afraid to do it. They know if it goes wrong, then NVMI can just barrel down mid, probably take out their entire base. Like, if you lose a fight to NVMI, and if they have their ults ready on Death, Prophet, and Razor, it's over. It's just game over. Absolutely. Straight kill tier 3 and thrown it. They don't even need to kill Rex. They can kill.
Well, here's the window. Buyback is about to come off cooldown on Gyrocopter, and he has Aegis for another minute and a half. If they're gonna go any time, it would be now. When DK Phobos pops his 50-second BKB cooldown.
Dude, come on. With all these AoE ults, by the time that he needs his BKB again, it'll have been 50 seconds.
Yeah, just about.
I'm exaggerating a bit, but yeah. They've and not to mention all the Yules, Scepters, and mobility skills. It's just, well, they'll siege with Manta Illusions, but they're just inadequate at this point. Chronosphere found Silent, but the Wisp is in reserve. There's your relocate out of the fight, and not too far out, just about 1,000 units back as Mag leaps forward. Illidan will pop his double ultimate. If they're gonna take this fight, they have to focus Illidan right away. Lil is looking for a Black Hole, but gets clipped by a cooldown. Can't engage directly into this. They lose the Scarlet Maid. Now they focus solo, and look at the Wisp just explode. Meanwhile, the top lane, Resolution, is trying to finish off the melee racks. Can't do it, though. Yule Scepter up in the air. While they continue pursuit, they'll bring down Mag as well. Now the Gyrocopter's being held out of position. Empire really forcing this one. They'll take the melee top lane. They're looking for the melee mid. They've got to make this work. This is mega creeps, but at the same time, if they die back here, they won't have anything left to defend against a death push. They'll lose the Gyro once. The Dragonite comes in. He hexes DK Phobos, focusing on the Void, but the Black Hole finds 2, and there's nothing to save Empire now from the onslaught. NVMI down mid. The only thing they've got in their toolbox is going to be buybacks, and they've only got 1. It's a Gyrocopter buyback. That's it. Aside from that, you're 20 seconds off the supports being up. There will be no Dragonite for the oncoming push mid lane.
Mag tried to BOT to the front lines after buying back, but the demonic conversion came out for the Enigma, and he takes him completely out of the fight, and then they just go in for the easy two-man black hole. Really great place from Blil here to draw this one out, and now we have a 4 versus 5 with the forced Enigma, or sorry, gyrocopter buyback. He cannot wait 60 full seconds in the grave. Now's the time to respond, but it's still so desperate. Like, they lost a lot there. They just wanted the damn racks, and they got top lane, but fortification, Resolution just couldn't do enough by himself.
If NVMI don't push it now, though, suddenly this is much more favorable for Empire, having at least taken out a full lane of Rex and now a ranged mid lane. But they jump in on Mag. Chronosphere's there, and the defensive relocate will pull him out. Solo's finally connecting on those. This forces DK Phobos to BKB, Illidan to BKB as well, and that means his BKB is on cooldown for a while. Wisp will be coming back, but they're getting in position to defend him. Silent, well, does he go in here? Hex onto Solo. Lil blinks in. Overgrowth to follow this up, but there's no black hole. They have Exorcism ready. Do they go in? Plasma Field from Illidan. Just trying to slowly drive Empire back, but I don't think they commit. They don't want to risk it without a black hole. It's too much to roll. So they'll end up
black hole
backing
to
off.
Chrono. They committed it for the kill, but the Solo relocates can counteract it too easily, and he's always in position with the blink, the tether. This is just too much. As long as they don't use the BKBs, they're perfectly fine to survive the black hole. It's weird to say, but it's 100% true. But now...
1.5 lanes of Rex down. That's what Empire got for all that. So, I mean, the question is now, do you wait 5 minutes so that you have your buybacks and then go for the last lane and a half of Rex? Is that the game plan here?
I don't know. Roche respawn is going to be pretty much full. 2 minutes and 45 seconds past the timer, and yeah, it's... I mean, they're in no rush, is the weird thing. We're 68 minutes in, and this could go another 20. I don't even know, but up top lane, Mag gonna be caught, the Stampede nullified by that Chronosphere, and we're gonna see it
double ulted on Illidan just to kill off the Centaur, and they should get this kill, as the Stampede was already wasted. But they're not gonna have the double ultimate for a high ground push, so they get a Centaur kill, and it's a dieback for him, as he won't be able to re-engage in the fight for 120 seconds yet. I don't know if they can really break base with no Razor ultimates.
I mean, they'll have one.
They'll have one.
Very short cooldown, but the question is, would a second one be more valuable than the enemy Centaur being there? And I honestly think that it was a pretty good decision there. The Chronosphere will be back up. They only lose out on one Razor ulti, and that's a 5v4 right there.
Well, 25 seconds still on that ult, and meanwhile, Silent and Solo are about to crack the base bottom lane. I think NVMI are going to have to back here, man. If they try to force this, then they're at least giving up another melee Rex, if not an entire lane. And then it could go south for them if they try to rotate off and TP out and get their TPs cancelled. So we'll see Solo and Silent just retreating out of this bottom lane. But they've done it. They forced MVMI back. This will give time for the buybacks to cool down. Gyro's only 3 minutes until it cools down. And we're getting to that point of the game where everyone's pretty much full on items, so it becomes much more just who hits their spells and who is buyback. Like that's what late game Dota is really all about.
Full of items. Who are you talking about? Silent needs to get his 6 slots of base race items so that he can take it from the enemy fountain. He's that Desolator AC Necronomicon, you know?
Yeah, his second toolkit for after they win the team fight, so he can just kill the base.
With the relocates, you might have to at some point. Like, look at Solo's interesting positioning here. I'm trying to think of what he can accomplish with this. He's obviously not going to surprise push the lanes by himself. I could almost say, like, yeah, he relocates his own fountain. They go and they bring somebody to the front line by tethering.
There's no one here to tether to.
I mean, somebody can TP back? I don't know. Like, why else would he... Oh, he literally relocated home for the TP scroll. Are you kidding me, Solo? I don't have a TP, so I'm going to do this and do some split push plays because they just broke my trees. I don't even know, man.
Top lane's pushing in the meantime. Right when DK Phobos and the rest of NVMI start to push through mid, they don't have the double Razor ult for 30 seconds, and now Centaur is back alive. Buyback status. Razor and Death Prophet both have it. Boots of Travel up on the Razor. Boots of Travel up on the Death Prophet. So these heroes can get back in the fight. It's only the one Razor ultimate, which shreds this creep wave. NVMI still not going in fully, though. Scandal's defending this top lane, and now they engage. They jump in immediately, but the stomp is going to be dodged by double BKB. They get a bash on Meg. They begin to steal a lot of damage from him. No Stampede to quickly get out of the static link. And now the jump in. Straight. Oh, hexed up. DK Phobos didn't have a BKB for this. Now the black hole. It only pulls in the Dragon Knight, who's BKB taking very little damage aside from the Enigma secondary spell. Silent trying to retreat out of this one. Static Link will deal a decent amount of his damage, but Mag gets pulled back in, and DK Phobos starts pounding on him. They need to back up the Centaur. They can't do it. Now the Gyrocopter thrown up in the air. Still a minute and a half before he can buy back. If he goes down now, they won't have him for the final fight. And NVMI, they might have finally found the positioning. Do we see a base race attempt? No relocate. They can't do it. They're going to have to fight him head on. But I don't know how they hold this right now, Blaze. There's a Chronosphere cooling down in about 25 seconds. They're at least losing a lane of Rex for this. If not more, Hex on the DK Phobos. Still, they can't jump in.
Yeah.
They
really might be evaluating right now
this.
the backdoor play, but right now they've already lost this mid lane, and it's going to be hard when the Chrono comes out. There's going to be a 20-second window where NVMI, this base is theirs, but they're losing so much on the defense that they're just going to retreat. No TPs will be canceled. Everybody gets back home, but Roche respawns while Razor is stuck in NVMI's base. They've lost all their Moonwells in their own base for the most part. The Tier 4's taking some hits, but Tree and Protector standing his ground. Leech living armoring back up the towers, and they're just going to keep this one alive as long as can be.
It really sucks to be in this situation against a Treant Protector late game if you're Empire. Like, you're like, okay, our creeps will do the work for us. No, Living Armor will negate all of that. And now NVMI start to prep near the Roche pit. They don't want to let Empire get another Aegis. One more Aegis, maybe that's the tool to brute force. Because you're also looking at buybacks to go with the Aegis, potentially. Currently, the Dire have none. Gyro just going to get his off cooldown now. And they will spot out Goblek here. But nobody available to follow this up. NVMI maneuvering towards the pit. They have the Refresher Orb on Lil. They've got double Black Hole, double BKB for him.
That's
double,
4 Midnight Pulses.
Four Midnight Pulses. It's also a double Razor ult to come through on top of that.
Oh, bottom. They get the Fortify, though. It's going to nullify a large portion of their potential damage here. They're just going to retreat. I don't think there's much risk in them just continuing the right clicks. 3 seconds from now, they'll rubber band, but they apparently think that the Wisp can die within a Chronosphere, and I guess if he was in position to get locked, then
meanwhile, now they're going to jump in. They hex up DK Phobos. He can't time walk out quickly. Now, held in place by a Dragon Tail. Won't be able to BKB for some time, but can they burst him down? Doesn't look like it. The turn. The Chrono ready to go if they want to pop it. Death Prophet with Exorcism, and the Chrono's perfect. On to 2, and also keeping Empire from getting in close to this fight. But where's the rest of the team? NVMI coming in all the way from the rear. They made a long rotation to get active, and by the time that happens, well, Empire have the man advantage. They're now chasing after Scandal. They'll lose Goblek as well. The Chrono looked good, but the team just took too long to arrive to follow it up. And Scandal, in the end, will have to retreat.
He didn't want to have to fight there, getting hexed, but they were waiting the Black Hole. 28 seconds still on that. They want both Black Holes, not just one, or they'll just be in the same situation they were 15 minutes ago. They needed both Black Holes, and the Hex forced the issue. So they get the buyback on DK Phobos, and that is immense. He is walking on extremely thin ice, and right now the Roche is on everybody's mind. Even though the Cheese and Aegis is actually very comparatively undervalued, compared to where it's been, it's still going to be a big pickup for one hero. Maybe not the carries because they're 6 slotted, 7, 8 slotted, whatever. But somebody's going to get benefit out of that.
Would be nice for the Wisp, especially like just having an Aegis or a Cheese, so you can potentially heal the Gyro, or just be able to risk a relocate. If it fails, you can still be there a factor as the fight progresses.
What I love with the Cheese is just use the mass overload or overcharge and get down to 10% HP, and then
they're backdooring though. They're backdooring. They have creeps in the base top lane. They bring down the range tracks. They get out safely. This might force NVMI's hand. In fact, Silence going back in. Tether is still there to protect him. And the melee Rex drops dangerously low. There's no glyph available. Finally, Empire able to backdoor with the Wisp. Something they would have really loved to do much more of this game, but with NVMI just constantly camping as 5 in the base, they didn't have openings until now. But they finally find one. DK
so they're going to go for the Roche. I really think it should be Cheese on the Wisp here. So much potential with that overcharge and the tether heal.
Be careful if you're Empire, though. There's double Exorcism now. You can't stack them, but you can use one, then the next. And there's also the double Razor ult. Potentially, not NVMI just goes for the base race. Chrono completely airbombed by DK Phobos. Oh, what a mess.
It's all on the Enigma.
But he's got 2 holes. He's got plenty of chances for this. The first one's great. It's on to 3. The follow-up's there from the Razor, and Lil might be the savior. Black hole number 2 doesn't hit anything, though, but doesn't even matter. Meg in the pit, completely unable to help his team. Resolution will die in round 2, and now we have to check our buybacks.
The buyback.
400 gold off the Gyrocopter, the Dragon Knight 260 gold off, and looking at the Scarth Mage, He doesn't have one either. This is
Tinder's gonna
GG.
kill a tier 4.
This
Tinder's
is-
gonna kill a tier 4 to get the buybacks, or they lose this right now. And he just can't push it that fast, even with the heart.
Even if he kills it, that's only going to give buyback to... Well, actually, it would give it to both. They're quickly getting the money for it, but I think it's too late. Death Prophet Exorcism thrown out. Razor ultimate cooling down in 20 seconds. It's not even going to matter. It looks like this will be the game. NVMI 76 minutes in. They'll be taking the throne out of Empire. They'll buy back on whoever they can. Try and stall this one out, but it's too little too late. Empire, they had their chances this game, but NVMI take it.
Shit.
Too much deeps. Too much black hole. Too many second chances for those team fights, and that's how good their team fight was, man. They completely airballed a Chronosphere, hit 0 heroes, did nothing with it, and still convincingly won the final climactic team fight. Oh, what a game.
Refresher Dota, best Dota, man. Yeah. You can have all the hearts in the world, but up against the Aghanim's, up against the Midnight Pulse, it's just too much. They could not hold. Oh my god, what a hell of a game. I don't think there's much more to say about it.
I feel like I'm already going crazy because I've been casting for about 12 hours already, but that game isn't helping matter, so we're not going to break it down any further, guys. We've got one more match coming up. Tinker now has their crack at NVMI. That will be your final match of Starladder Europe, day number 16. I'm LD, he's Blaze. We'll see you for the next game. Jesus Christ, what a day.